Welcome to It's a Mistake.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Salutations and greetings. Guess what? We are back again after a long hiatus, but people want us to be back, and so here we are. Um, Boston's best divorce podcast. So change of scenery. We're doing this live from our office. And change of people, as you may see on your screen. We have two attorneys joining us today from Barrack Law Group. That is attorney Francesca Blasina. Frankie, say hi to everyone.
Hi, I've actually been here twice before already, so
You've been here before?
correct the record. Last time I did this was during COVID, June 2020, from my living room table in my apartment.
Really? We had you on, and it was in June. It's a long time ago. So when was the June and COVID of 2020?
Correct.
Oh wow! And you said you did it 2 times. What was the second time?
June 2020 was the second time. So the one before that, or I think we did both of them in June of 2020 during COVID.
No kidding. Oh wow! All right. So you've been here before, and are you glad to be back? Are you surprised to be back?
I'm so excited. I've never been happier. I've been listening to my podcast all week to get my voice ready. I'm so excited.
Do you know how many podcasts now for It's a Mistake will this be?
This will be episode number 16.
Unbelievable. All right, good. And anything else you want to say about being on it? And now you're kind of sitting in the co-host chair now.
Well, it's a full circle moment for me because when you were hiring me originally, it was the only way I could get to know you was to listen to your podcast. So before I interviewed with you, I listened to, I think at the time you had 7 or 8 podcasts. So that was how I got to know you as quickly as possible before meeting you in person.
So we hired you based on the fact that you listened to the podcast.
I think I was the number 1 listener at the time because I listened that many times.
Wow. Well, we had a good following. We're glad to be back, and we're hoping that people out there will subscribe. What do they say? Subscribe, rate, and whatever. Um, so do that. Do that. We're going to be talking about a case that we have, probably in part two. The format's a little bit different. We have a shorter format with a little bit more information. So it'll be fast paced, and I think the way we're going to do it is we'll do a part one and then a part two. We have a case that we want to discuss that we think kind of got lost in the shuffle, although people are starting to talk about it a little bit. And it was actually our case. We're not trying to toot our own horn, so to speak, but we think it's an important case, and we'll be talking about that. I can't pronounce it anymore, so I'll save it. But well, how do you pronounce it, Regan?
I think it's Kanan versus Romanujam. What do you think, Frankie?
I think that was pretty good.
Yeah, I think she's close. I think she's close enough. I think, yeah. We'll get to it. I have some other things I want to talk about. And we'll get there. We'll have our guests. We'll have people from the probate court on, and people that do divorce, and maybe some people locally, and also some people nationally. So we expect to be here for a little while. We have this new format, new production. So we'll see how it goes. We're always skeptical when we try new things, but it's gonna be the same type of stuff that we did and had fun before, that we started building a following to, and we look forward to having everybody to join us. So rate, subscribe, and rate, subscribe, something like that. I don't know. What else? So I'm not in a good mood today, so I'm gonna have to get off of that. I'm very angry with the post office, because they wouldn't deliver our mail because of the apparently because of the snow. And I'm telling you, look, did I show you this picture? I'm gonna go on a rant. Look at this. What is wrong with this? Look, you see that? You see that? What is wrong? You can see clearly my mailbox sticking out, right? Plenty of room on the road, right? To just put it in the freaking box, right?
Yeah.
So now I have to call and complain. Not happy about that. It's sent me into a lather. What do you think about that?
Did they send you a letter in your?
No, they're supposed to, so they're in trouble. Yeah, so they violated everything they're supposed to. But I don't care.
Have,
I'm gonna go back later when I get home. I'm gonna shovel it out more, but it's shoveled out. Like I looked at it. You can drive right up to it. I don't understand. I don't know what they
are
want me
your
to do.
neighbors getting their mail, Matt?
That's how, yeah, my neighbor's box was open, and I realized that they got the mail and we didn't get the mail. So I was furious because I don't know what else I'm supposed to do except make it not snow. I can't make the snow melt. I do not control the weather, and I've done what I could, and I made sure that it was visible, and that's what I did. And it's funny because we get crushed. That post box has been smashed into about 4 times in the long period of time that we've lived there, and because of the way people come around the corner, and they usually do it in the winter. So I got to be a little bit careful in terms of like keeping the buffer on because people slide right in there, and there's no, as you can see, there's nothing next to us. So like there's no house like there, so there's plenty of room for the car, and that sticks up. I have no idea what they want me to do.
I think
So
if you can reach it and you can put your hand into it, then
I
there's no
can't.
reason why they shouldn't be able to do
I
it.
can, and I checked
Sure,
because
they've seen
I
way.
was aware. I was aware that they were having an issue with this. They wanted people to shoveled out. So I wasn't sticking my head in the sand. I felt we did that, and I don't understand. And I told the guy, we'll fix it again, or whatever. But I disagree with this, whatever. And I don't think it was very nice. To be honest, I'm sure they violated some law where they just stuck the mail without any notice because they're claiming that they can't get there. So, we'll fix them. So I have the phone number. The phone number to complain is if anybody has the same issue. It is in the winter in New England. It's 1-800-275-8777. So that's what I'm going to do this afternoon when we finish our podcasting. We're going to call them, and then I'll shovel it out some more. Fix the.
Everyone comment if you've also been having problems with your mail.
What's that? Where?
Comment. Leave a comment.
We have
Yeah.
a comment. Yeah. What's the
Yeah,
comment?
anybody who subscribes gets a special viewing of Matt shoveling out his,
Yeah.
his
I'll
mailbox
do that.
later
I'll do
today.
that now. All right. Thank you guys. Now you're making me feel better. All right, let's go to our first topic today. Our first topic today is our new and improved segment called For Your Consideration. And the topic is, well, they'll put this in later in production. Conduct. We're going to talk about conduct. Frankie Regan, because she's the young one. And we haven't introduced her yet. We'll introduce her eventually. I'm not introducing her on the first show. I don't think it's right. Regan, what role does conduct play in divorce in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts?
Well, conduct's part of the factors that a judge uses to determine an equitable division in a divorce. That's one thing.
Well, is it really though, Frankie? I'm going to go to my senior associate.
I don't think it really that matters all that much unless it has an impact on custody or the finances. Specifically, like people always like to say, my wife or my husband was having an affair, and that should be conduct that should be considered by the judge. And most of the time, that really doesn't matter unless they withdrew, $50,000 from the joint bank account and went out to buy their paramour a sports car or jewelry or, vacations and dinners and things like that, like they were depleting assets. Or if it has a large impact, I think, on the children.
Do you think people need mail anymore? Can I go back to that for a minute? Regan, what do you think? Do we have to have mail, or can we just have email?
I never check my mail.
Frankie,
I disagree. I love the mail.
You do?
It is the job in my house. I ask my husband every day when I get home, did you check the mail? And I expect the answer to be no. because I want to check the mail every day.
Yeah, I don't know if we need mail. I'm still I'm trying to get off that, but I don't know. I
I
don't
think in
think we.
our world we need it because that's how we most of the time.
Or can't we just email? Don't we have like the court rules now? Most of the time we just email stuff anyway,
Yeah,
right? I mean, I know we have to serve things and
File.
say that again, Regan.
Yeah, we pretty much e-file almost everything we file right now.
Right. So why do we need email? All right, or mail if we have email. It's kind of like the fax machine. Like, do you really need a fax number anymore? That was the other thing I was thinking of. Should we get rid of the fax number? We've had a fax number for so long. I think we should dump it.
I feel like we only use it when people send us like a subpoena response. That's the only time.
Yeah, or something weird, but it is strange. All right, back to conduct. So conduct doesn't play much of a role, right, in Massachusetts. It is a factor, as Regan rightfully points out, but it has to have some kind of economic. The case law is it has to have some kind of economic massive impact, nothing small. The first question I have on conduct: do you think that's the right approach, or does someone's bad conduct should matter? Frankie, I'll start with you.
I think it depends on the severity of what their conduct is. I think most of the time it really doesn't matter. And I think a lot of the times, at least what we do is like it's one of the factors you have to put in your pretrial memorandum. We usually just write that we reserve the right to introduce it later at the time of trial if necessary, because if we put it in our memo, we probably are just going to piss everybody off and hinder any sort of settlement potential. But I think we should only be going there if we absolutely need to be going there, or if it's really, really, something major and significant that the judge needs to be aware of.
Yeah, I mean, I think where the lack of use of conduct as a factor, unless it has a substantial impact financially, comes from the notion of uh, no fault divorce, right? So you're not. We moved away from fault grounds, right? We still have them on the books of Massachusetts, but most of the time, almost 99% of the time, people do not get divorced on fault grounds anymore. They get divorced on irreconcilable differences. So it's sort of the quote unquote no fault divorce. So we moved away from that. And because of that, conduct ended up playing less of a factor. So I guess my first question will should it play a factor? But let me ask you this: what if your spouse gave you a SDI, STI, venereal disease, or something like that? Is that bad conduct? Regan will bring you back in since you're on.
I mean, it's definitely bad conduct, but whether it should affect
Should it factor in to the divorce?
for no, I don't think it should factor in for purposes of property division. I mean, that's, you know, it's not affecting the finances. Should he be punished financially for his bad conduct? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it should affect.
Frankie, what do you think?
I agree. It's definitely bad conduct in like the moral sense, but
Well, we know it's bad conduct.
in the legal sense, like what are you
Saying
expecting?
legally, is it actionable for the?
Well, it's what do you expect
wife?
the judge to do about it? I think the only option that a judge could do is punish him financially, like what Regan said. And it's like, what for? I mean, maybe in a rare circumstance where it's extremely severe and there's like medical procedures that you need to undergo because of it. Sure, maybe he should be responsible for paying for them. But other than that, I don't think we should, disproportionately affect the division of assets because of it.
Well, both of you are wrong because according to, at least if you lived in New York State, because in 2020, the New York State Legislature amended their equitable distribution law, where we're in New York, in the state of New York, in the context of equitable distribution analysis, to consider whether a spouse has committed an act or acts of domestic violence against the other spouse. In a recent decision, a justice in New York found that the wife, in her testimony, which established that she tested positive for herpes simplex virus 1 and 2, and human papilloma, that the husband had infected her with this as a direct result of his extramarital affairs. And therefore, his bad conduct in giving the wife herpes and the like could be used against him in the equitable distribution of the marital estate. So, some states do look at conduct in a different manner. Any thoughts on that, Attorney Blazina?
Did he knowingly give it to her? That's what and
Well, he didn't tell her he was going to give it to her, Frankie. So I'm going to say he was
I
he
think
gave it to
so.
her because he was out screwing around and
Right,
he
but
didn't
if you
tell her
could,
that. And so,
if
yeah,
you could prove that he knew about it beforehand and then knowingly slept with his wife after the fact, then I could see, sure, maybe the judge would want
well,
to.
Justice Dane of New York State said that the decision goes to say the husband's conduct constituted reckless endangerment, not to mention a gross deviation from the standard of conduct of a married person. In the end, the court held that one spouse's transmission of a sexually transmitted infection to the other spouse constitutes a form of domestic violence. Boom. So it's
That's
another
going
way
to
of looking at
do a
conduct.
lot of, I feel, if they're saying that's considered, well, I guess only in the marital dissolution statute, but if they're saying giving somebody an STD is a form of domestic violence, they're going to be handing out a lot of restraining orders, I feel like, in New York State.
Well, and maybe they do. All right. Have you heard about all the celebrities getting divorced recently? Do you know who got divorced? How do celebrities get their mail, by the way? What do you think? They probably have like a guy or a woman or somebody, right? An assistant.
They definitely have an assistant. Goes to their mailbox.
What if it snows and the mailbox? Do you think they would cut the mail off?
Landscapers, groundskeepers.
I'm still annoyed by this. All right, so do you guys in study as to who got divorced? So Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban got
Oh,
divorced.
yeah.
They finalized their divorce in January 2026 in the great state of Tennessee and Nashville after filing in September 2025.
No,
So that was pretty quick. So let me ask you, let's play who would you rather represent real quick? Would you rather represent Nicole Kidman or Keith Urban? Regan, you go first. And why?
I mean, I don't know much about them. I like.
Do you even know? You're so young. Do you even know who Nicole Kidman is?
Yeah, she does the AMC commercials.
That's how you know her. Very good. Right. What about who's Keith Urban? Frank knows who Keith Urban is.
He's a country singer.
Oh, you
I
know
like
him.
how come you know him?
I like country music. And wasn't he on American Idol or one of those? No?
I don't know. No, that was the other guy. What's that guy? There's another guy on those. Zach something or other. Oh, I watched it once. There's another country kind of singer.
Luke Bryan, maybe?
Luke something. I don't know. They're all named Luke or Zach. Right? All right, so Frankie, who would you represent?
Nicole Kidman.
And why?
Because she's a phenomenal actress.
You'd rather
I think she probably makes a lot more money than he does, so she can probably.
Yeah, but he's got royalties. Well, I guess she has residuals too. I mean, he probably does well because he can make money by touring, and that makes a lot of money in person. She has to make a movie.
Who do you think makes more money, musicians or actresses?
I think if you're a famous musician, a musician, because you get paid for your royalties related to your music, and you make a boatload of money on personal appearances for the concerts, which can make hundreds of millions of dollars. Whereas an actor or an actress is limited to their day ability to act in a show, in a movie or a theatrical release or whatever. So I definitely think musicians, top fledged musicians.
Let me ask you this, Matt. I don't really know how
Why is she we're letting her ask questions? We didn't even tell anybody who she is. Go ahead. Go ahead. Ask a question.
I don't really know how the royalties work, but my idea is that, when your songs are played and stuff, you get money for that. So would that be a stream of income for alimony purposes, or would that be
It's
more
a
of
very
a
famous case. It's a very famous case. John Belushi's widow had the rights, and there's a case in Massachusetts called Pisano. I saw them in court one day. It was Judge Kagan case that went up to the I believe went up to the SJC, and you can look it up. And that case, I believe, had a major issue related to whether or not the royalties for John Belushi was income. And I think it was ruled that it was. It goes up and down, or whether whether it's an asset for division. So
I think
anyway, I'd represent either one of them. That would be my answer. Uh, but guess what, guys? Our first episode in a while has gone by so quick, so fast. So here we go. So like, subscribe, and do what you're supposed to do. Spread the word that we are back. Shovel out your mailbox. Otherwise, you won't get mail unless you don't want mail. And we'll be back for episode 2 to talk about what's the name of the case, Regan?
Remanujan versus Kanan?
Part 2, episode 17. We'll see you there. And real quick, because this may air after the Super Bowl, who's going to win the Super Bowl, Frankie?
Patriots, obviously.
All right, what do you got for score? We'll write it down quickly. Come on.
Ooh, I think it's going to be 17-7.
Patriots. And what about you, Regan, quickly?
Pats 27-21.
Ooh, big scoring.
I'll go. I don't want to root against the Pats, so I'll go Patriots 31, Seattle 27. We'll see who's closest. Thanks for joining, guys. We'll be back next for episode 17. We'll see you then. Have a good day.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.